Yes, folks, it's me, Super Peanut 3, and I am here to talk to you about Avengers Infinity War, which I had the pleasure of watching at an advanced screen. So let's talk about this movie, shall we? So the movie opens up with John McClane and John Matrix from Die Hard and Commando sitting on a park bench eating pretzels. Yeah, turns out those guys in the movie too. But what's really strange about this is the roles are reversed. So Bruce Willis plays John Matrix, and Arnold Schwarzenegger plays John McClane. Very odd. So after Thanos arrives in New York City, John Matrix and John McClane ride through Green Hill Zone on their unicycles in order to get to S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, it turns out those guys are part of the Avengers now. Strange, but I guess I'm okay with that. And then, if you're wondering who gets killed in the movie, people are debating either it's Captain America or Iron Man. Turns out it's Iron Man, but how he dies is actually pretty odd, actually. After Robert Downey Jr. walks over to S.H.I.E.L.D. after having a nice cup of coffee from Starbucks, spontaneously a piano falls on his head and actually kills him. And then John Matrix and John McClane ride past him. And then we never talk about him. No, not kidding. They cut to the rest of the Avengers, and they never talk about him, as if he never existed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the first place. Kind of odd, actually. So they told him about Thanos taking over New York City, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta stop him." And let's talk about Spider-Man, shall we? Spider-Man never uses his web slinging attacks. Not at all. He never used it. He never used them at all. So instead, Spider-Man carries some automatic machine guns throughout this whole film. Spider-Man, packing heat because he can. So it's like that Tim Burton Superman movie with Nicolas Cage that never came to be, in which they had Superman not fly. It's kind of similar to that. So yeah, Spider-Man with automatic machine guns. Hope you like that. And it turns out Zoe Saldana from the Guardians of the Galaxy is actually Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. Yeah, that's how it turns out. Apparently, her makeup wore off, and she is revealed to be Ellen Ripley the whole time. A twist, huh? I'm sure M. Night Shyamalan can come up with a twist like that. But as they try to fight Thanos, turns out they are no match for Thanos at all. So Sebastian Stan suggests, I'm going to call Alfred. And I'm to myself, wait, what the hell are you talking about? And it turns out it's Alfred Pennyworth. So guess what? The Justice League are in this movie, which completely eliminates the whole Marvel versus DC war to begin with. So yeah, the Justice League comes by and they're going to help them defeat Thanos. That sounds cool, right? Sort of. Turns out Gal Gadot and Scarlett Johansson decided to leave this fight, and they go to an arcade room where they play Dance Dance Revolution together, and they cut to that every 5 minutes. So the Avengers and the Justice League continue to fight Thanos, along with the help of, guess who? John Wick, played by Pauly Shore. But then Thanos in the middle, stops in the middle of the fight in order to help help the construction people build a border wall. It turns out Thanos is not such a bad guy after all when he wants to make America great again. Even though he's bent on ruling the world, and yet he's helping people save America, so he's kind of a bipolar antagonist of the MCU, actually. But then the fight resumes, but then suddenly a Stan Lee cameo arrives, and probably the strangest cameo in the MCU. Stan Lee just runs fast. No, I'm sorry. He runs fast like Roadrunner, and then he does a Shoryuken on Thanos, and that defeats him. So yeah, the way to defeat Thanos is with the help of a 95-year-old man who has quite the physicality on him. But then there's another twist revealed, as it turns out that it was Marissa Tomei, yeah, returning from Spider-Man Homecoming, who's been controlling Thanos the whole time. And then, as she tries to explain why, Spider-Man just flat out shoots her. Not with a web, but, like I said, automatic machine gun. Yeah, so she shoots her own aunt. He shoots his own aunt. No fucks given. Yeah. But then the movie ends with the Avengers and the Justice League, as well as John Wick, John Matrix, and John McClane, watching Gal Gadot and Scarlett Johansson playing Dance Dance Revolution together. And then the movie ends with, there's another reveal at the end. Turns out the Russo brothers weren't the directors of this movie. It turns out to be Ryan Reynolds in character as Deadpool the whole time. And that's our ending right there. No post-credit sequence. That's the ending right there. Quite a mindfuck of a movie, I must say. If it's actually a real movie, that is. Bye!